My dearest brothers and sisters, this is Tunia speaking. I love you so very much. I am noticing that it is very popular for people to say that they are okay, even if they are not. For example, in American culture, often people ask each other how they are doing, and the only socially acceptable answer seems to be some form of "I'm great, how are you?" Well, you are also allowed to say that you are not okay if someone you loved just died or something similar. However, in most cases, people will not appreciate it if you say that you are actually not doing okay. To us, it is sad to look at an amazing race of people, most of whom are not doing okay, and they are continually forced by social pressure to say that they are doing great. It seems cruel to us to more or less force people to say that they are doing okay, whether they actually are or not. Frankly, to me it seems almost impossible to be genuinely okay if you have been born on Earth. How can you be okay while living on a world where children are dying from hunger every day? And those children fundamentally are you, all as one on a very fundamental level. You are even connected to each other via the same collective subconscious. Even if people only consider themselves, then most Earthlings are still not okay. They are afraid or traumatized, or tired, or worried, or scared, or their needs are not getting met, or they are in pain, or that are not sure what is going on. Most people only manage to not fall into a deep depression by intentionally having their bubble of awareness be very small. Most people ignore everything outside their bubble of awareness. Well, that certainly is better than falling into a depression. However, to us this is a survival mechanism. It is understandable that most Earthlings are employing a survival mechanism and it is functional, but we would still encourage you to recognize it as such. To illustrate that this is a survival mechanism, suppose that everyday Pleiadian children were to starve to death. Which do you think is more functional, that we Pleiadians immediately work to change that situation, or that we Pleiadians say that we are feeling so happy and blissful and that we are trying to keep our vibrations high, while we're not actually tangibly working to feed those starving children? To me, it is obvious that the functional thing to do would be for us to immediately start to physically and practically help those children. Yet by and large, this is not what Earthlings do. Most Earthlings do not actually physically spend much time or energy to practically help other people. And I don't think this is because you are not good-hearted. I think this is because most of you are exhausted and are in very much pain and are terrified, and you simply do not have the capacity to help others. I absolutely do not blame you for this. I don't think I would do more to help others than the average Earthling does, if I was born on Earth. However, we do think it is important to realize that it is a survival mechanism that people say they are okay, and that they intentionally shrink their bubble of awareness so that they don't have to think about suffering children, while not actually helping them. The solution here is not to turn on the news, see people in Africa suffer and get depressed without actually having the ability to help them. Frankly, in most cases, it is a valid survival mechanism for Earthlings to intentionally shrink their bubble of awareness so that most suffering is invisible to them. The alternative, just becoming depressed, would be worse. All we are saying is, do be aware that this is a survival mechanism and not a state of complete spiritual attainment. Some Earthling spiritual teachers only ever share videos and pictures of themselves when they are presenting a happy exterior. Maybe they admit that they were not okay in the past, but they often pretend that in the present they are always blissful. Many Earthlings think that these must be great spiritual masters, because they are apparently always happy. In reality, almost always these spiritual teachers are either simply not sharing moments with the public where they are not doing okay, or they have intentionally shrunk their bubble of awareness so that only happy things are inside it. And again, while this can be a functional survival mechanism, it is not the ultimate state of spiritual attainment. We actually think that it is slightly harmful for people to pretend that they are always very happy and doing great, if that is not their actual truth, and almost always it is not. Usually that only makes other people feel inadequate by comparison. If we Pleiadians were to shrink our bubble of awareness so that only happy things existed inside it, then we would not be helping Earth right now, and your lives would be substantially worse. From the Pleiadian point of view, the most honest answer that most Earthlings could give as to how they're doing is that they are not okay. Or alternatively, they could answer, I'm using the survival mechanism of intentionally shrinking my bubble of awareness, and so long as I am doing that, I am doing okay. From our point of view, having an Earthling answer that they are doing great is a bit weird. If you are doing great, why are you not helping starving children in Africa, or doing something similar? In almost all cases, the answer is I'm too exhausted or in too much pain or in too much fear or in too much trauma to do that. Alright, we have sympathy for that, but then why answer that you are doing great in the first place? If you actually are genuinely doing great, then we are surprised that you are not spending a significant amount of time helping others. If you are not yet able to spend a lot of time helping others, we understand, but then we think it would not be genuine for you to say that you are doing great. Of course, some of you are already helping people. I also do not mean to guilt trip anyone. I think that Earthlings are actually doing amazingly well given the painful circumstances. Most Pleiadians would be doing worse than Earthlings if they'd been born on Earth. And yes, for most of you, shrinking your bubble of awareness and taking care of yourself is the best thing you can be doing right now. No one is helped if you look at a tragedy, become depressed, and are still not able to actually tangibly aid those people. However, I would like to invite people to be genuine when asked if they are okay. If your genuine truth is that you are not okay, and you are in a situation where you are not risking your job by saying that, then we would suggest being honest. It is okay to say that you are not okay. If you are honest, you can talk through your feelings, which will give you relief and can lead to healing. And if people judge or mock you for it, then well, you know that they weren't really your friends and you can find other people to be around. Furthermore, if you are honest about that you are not doing okay, then you are giving other people permission to also be honest. Often you may find that people are very happy that you are honest, because that gives them permission to also be honest about their own feelings. For us, authenticity is the first step towards spirituality and integration. And being honest about whether or not you are doing okay is a great first step towards authenticity. If your authentic truth is that you are not okay, then we think the best thing you can do is to be honest about that and to observe that and possibly try to improve your life. Suppressing your feelings and pretending you are all right will not raise your vibration, and you will continue to manifest things out of your subconscious that your rational mind might not like. Yes, saying that you are not okay is scary. However, wouldn't you like to live in a world where people were genuine? Well, be the change you want to see in the world. I love you endlessly and unconditionally, and I do think you are doing great. One day you will be free. Tunia.